she's aware. This is her first time down here.
Really?
Yeah, she is. Hey, yo. So y'all gonna make your deadlines? It's a we want to have been able to win that match earlier in the year, and it's I thought that we feel like there's been a lot of growth with our team, and and I think that match was even had we ended up not getting those last 2 points and them scoring the last 2 points, that kind of we grinded and grinded, and they were rewarded. And earlier in the year, I think anybody that was watching us the first handful of matches, and we got pushed, and we'd be overcome by frustration, and and questioning ourselves and thinking about the outcome and stuff like that. And it's been something that this group has worked really hard at. When their backs are against the wall, they're still. You still have the opportunity to come out and set the world on fire if you stay together and you keep battling, you keep fighting, and we really raised our defensive intensity, which was critical. I thought Sage was really good, passing and defensively, and making a lot of plays. And she started making defensive plays before anybody else really started to, and I think that probably inspired the rest of us of seeing her just flying all over the place. And we D'd up, and it was two teams that were just battling and fighting, and we've played 10 sets between the two teams, and it's been a lot of runs and a lot of highs and lows and a lot of mental toughness, and we're really last thing I'll leave with before I turn it over to you guys is just how appreciative I am of our fans that are sticking around till 11 o'clock and coming in here. It's a Wednesday night, and even though Reagan Sheffield should be in bed right now, but people just coming in here on a Wednesday night and staying with us because we needed every bit of their energy tonight.
For Sage and Yulia, just can you talk about those final two sets and what changed? What do you think kind of got this team over the hump? Those were, even though the team wasn't great percentage-wise, those were, I think, were two of the better ones of the evening. What made that a little better?
I feel like we focus on the attitude of it's all about responding. It doesn't matter what just happened. It doesn't matter how great of a play or how bad of a play we just made. It's all about what's going to happen next. I feel like that was the attitude that you could feel being around this group on the court, and it was just great. I feel like our defense got way more intense, and we were able to put balls up and flying. So, and Minnesota, that was just great playing with them. They played great volleyball. The way their outsides, the smart shots that they were using, it was hard to figure it out. And I feel like we started to kind of get a better sense of it and put more balls up.
Yeah, I second that. And then I also think that we just finally figured out that it was going to be the biggest battle, and then we just kind of dug in like it was a dogfight. As Kelly said, we rolled around in the mud, and we came out on top.
Kelly, your block has been such a force, especially the last part of the season here. And you had, I think, 7 through the first 4 sets and 6 in the 5th set. Your last 4 points came on blocks. Were there
Our last how many points?
last 4?
All the last 4 points came on blocks.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you figure something out?
Minnesota executed some really high-level swings tonight in some areas that you're just not going to defend. I mean, some of these, very, very deep in the court, it between defensive players, where it didn't matter how much effort. It was just really high execution on their part, and. We made some nice serves there at the end and got their setter scrambling a little bit, which allowed us to set up our block. And sometimes one of the worst things you can do in those situations is pressing. Not pressing over the net. Certainly we want to be pressing over the net, but just trying to do too much and making strong moves and getting across the net, reading the attacker, get your hands in good airspace. And kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. If you're just trying to do too much and you're not reading the game well, then you're not going to be able to make those plays. And we stayed with the battle, and and there were just big time plays on both sides of the net.
Sage, you probably figured out they would be targeting you, and they did. And they had some success there, but then as it went along, it felt like you got better at it. How did you work your way through that and try and maintain your composure back there?
Yeah, I feel like it's all in mentality. I mean, I knew from the beginning, seeing a new libero in the jersey, that they were going to be targeting me, and I feel like you just have to fight to keep these balls up. We talked going in that this was a really good serving team. They have, they get teams out of system very well. So I feel like just having the mentality that getting the ball nice and high, getting Charlie in a good position to set up our hitters.
You all have been part of some pretty big wins, big matches. I guess I'm just wondering, just based off the energy in the field house tonight, what was, was this a typical post game? Was this business as usual, or was there a little more, something to it as you guys kind of celebrated or did your post game?
Yeah, I feel like it's just huge pride that we wouldn't be able to be in the same spot a few months before, and just the amount of work we put in and figuring stuff out like every day in the gym. That's something that was definitely in the air in that room, and like also the pride in the people who just put on a different jersey, and like showed up so much during that night. That's just something huge, and there's a lot to celebrate about that.
I guess for everybody, this match allows your next one to have the weight that it will have. You've had 10 minutes to absorb this. What do you think when you got Nebraska coming around the corner here in a couple days?
It's yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's a next match. It's a team that came into here and and it swept us and played awfully well. But you're right. We're going to be, we're going to be traveling in less than 2 days, and you've got a team that's really talented, and it's let's go. I mean, we're you're saying that this next match is big. I mean, we're 2 games back, right? And so we're going to need a little help as far as Big Ten stuff. But what is equally as important is growth. I mean, it really is. If you're wanting to do some really nice things at the end of the season, it's one of the things that gets you really fired up. The win is fired up, but what Yulia was saying was the pride that was down there of saying, man, you work so hard, you work so hard every single day, and there's almost an element, if you're not getting better, then it's like, well, what are we doing here? But when you can tangibly see beyond the wins of the stuff that we're talking about and we're working and we're just so much goes into it, and you see it pay off, man, I don't care how tired you are. You walk out of that locker room 3 inches taller. It's and it gets you more excited about getting back in the gym and watching some film. And it's like, man, all right, let's give me something else to chew on. So, thanks, guys.